嗨，你好，我是你的面试官 Rosa。那因为疫情的关系，所以我们必须要以线上方式来进行面试。那你可以开始自我介绍了。
Oh, sorry. I don't speak Chinese. I thought this
Oh,
job doesn't require Chinese.
oh, okay, it's fine. I was saying that because of the pandemic, we need to conduct our interview online. And if you could introduce yourself now. And by the way, I'm your interviewer, Rosa. Nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you for giving me the chance to interview me. So my name is Elise. I come from France. I'm 22 and I'm currently doing a IMBA in NTUST. So it's everything linked to business, marketing, and sales. And I was also working part-time as a marketing and sales manager in a medical device company.
Oh, interesting. Is that a company in Taiwan?
No, I only studied here in Taiwan, but I worked in France.
Okay, so do you know a little bit about Taiwanese culture at work?
Well, I know a lot about Taiwanese culture. I learned like from since when I arrived here, but for the work experiment, I never experimented. So that's why I'm willing to learn about it through this job.
I see. So I just want to ask you a situational question. If you are in a family gathering and all of the sudden your manager calls you because there is an urgent project needed to be done, will you answer the call?
Well, in my country, we have this right to disconnect law. It's in this law, it's mandating that employers cannot reach employees outside of working hour.
Oh, okay. How about working overtime?
It depends. If it's really important, then I will do it, but it will be paid, right?
Oh, unfortunately, I have to say our company does not have an overtime system for managerial positions, so you won't get paid for overtime.
What? Really? Why?
It's just the company policy. Yes.
Oh my God. So you basically expect people to work for you, but for free?
Okay, I think this interview will finish now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.
As you can see, there was a major issue here. Was it their personalities? Was it their cultural differences? My friends and I decided to try to find a solution to this issue. How should both personalities behave to avoid hurting each other's sensibility? Here is what we found.
Enhancing cultural awareness. Today, the world is becoming a global village. A lot of countries are already enjoying a multicultural environment. Thus, understanding different cultures is essential. Being culturally aware is a way to understand how a person's reaction or behavior is influenced by their culture. And with this, you'll analyze the situation from a cultural perspective and become more mindful and sensitive to those differences. In the first scene, the HR and the applicant could have researched about the differences between the French and Taiwanese working cultures, so that at least they will not be shocked and offended from each other's responses. Another way in dealing this conflict is taking responsibility of our feelings. Life happens, and at the end of the day, you are still fully responsible for your feelings. Rather than blame other people, you need to understand that your emotions are just results of how you interpret and interact with what happens to you and around you. It is better to acknowledge your own needs and expectations and communicate them properly. Otherwise, it could lead to conflicts or worse, sever your relationship with others. In the first scene, clearly, both attributed their disappointments to each other for the fact that they did not expect each other's responses because of their differences. So instead of leaving the conversation hanging, the interviewer could have asked what made Elise react that way. Through this, she could understand better and clearer her feelings and perspectives. Here are some benefits of taking responsibility for our feelings. First, others get less defensive and are more likely to support you if you don't blame them. Second, it helps you separate the person from the behavior, which is especially important during conflict. Third, it shows your willingness to share responsibility instead of pointing fingers. And lastly, this is a foundational first step for developing emotional intelligence.
The next slide we will talk about using cultural intelligence CQ to solve intercultural conflict. And here are some strategies that can be used for Alice and Rosa's intercultural conflict. First, metacognition. Metacognition is individuals' level of conscious cultural awareness during cross-cultural interactions. To bridge the difference between Alice and Rosa, we can use some of metacognition's sub-dimensions such as planning. Planning refers to develop action plans before interacting with people from a different culture. For example, from Rosa's side as HR to Alice as an applicant, Rosa can prepare to not be shocked or get confused about the difference of the culture. After that, Rosa can be prepared with a clear explanation about the working regulation in Taiwan, instead of speak straightforward with a higher tone without a further explanation. Then, Rosa can prepare a solution toward the difference of working culture. And then, from Alice's side as an applicant to Rosa as HR, as a foreign worker, Alice needs to learn a brief about Taiwan's working culture, and it also will be better if she learns a bit about the profile of the company that she wants to apply. The way we respond toward the HR's question always be an important point, so Alice needs to be prepared about how to respond and answer the question in a good way. The next step of using metacognition is implementing awareness. Awareness here refers to aware about how our own culture influences our interaction with people from different culture. For example, from Rosa's side as HR to Alice as an applicant, Rosa can actively listen to Alice's stories about her culture and ask questions to expand the knowledge about where Alice comes from. After that, Rosa can show the applicant that she values the difference. After that, from Alice's side as an applicant to Rosa as HR, Alice can learn by asking. Don't be afraid to ask questions. People feel respected and appreciated when others take a genuine interest towards somebody's culture. So, it's okay to ask an open-ended question about Taiwan's culture to learn more. After that, exchange stories. Storytelling is a great way to share experiences that go beyond culture. The second dimension from cultural intelligence CQ that we can use for this intercultural conflict is cognition. Cognition refers to understanding in culturally diverse settings. In this case, we can use culture, general knowledge as one of the subdimensions in cognition. Culture general knowledge refers to describe the different cultural value frameworks that explain behaviors around the world. For example, from Rosa's side as HR to Alice as an applicant, Rosa can learn a brief of the culture that exists in France, related to regulations in the workplace such as France known with its famous welfare system with 35 hours working in a week with minimum 5 weeks of holiday per year. And after that, from Alice's side as an applicant to Rosa as HR, Alice can also learn a brief about working culture in Taiwan such as Taiwan enforced hierarchy in a workplace.
Understanding individualism and collectivism solve intercultural conflict. Here are some strategies that can be used for Elise and Rosa's intercultural conflict. For individualism, members of an individualistic culture need to manage their desires to dominate group discussions and to win in problem-solving situations. So, from Elisa's side as an applicant to Rosa as HR, decision-making can be decided upon whether if it is best not only for her, be less motivated by her ideals and goals, practice not putting herself first. With collectivism, members of a collectivistic culture need to consider speaking up and speaking out, even disagreeing when it is in the best interest of the group. So, from Rosa's side as HR to Elise as an applicant, make the effort to explain to Elise why things are the way they are in their company. Practice inclusiveness. Even if Elise is a foreigner, she should be considered and given equal opportunity as other Taiwanese candidates.
there is an urgent project needed to be done, will you answer the call?
I would if it's necessary, yes. In my country, we have the right to disconnect law, but I would do it if needed. I would adapt to it, no problem.
Okay, nice. What about working extra hours?
Same. I don't mind working extra hours. No issue for me. But are those paid?
Oh, unfortunately, our company does not have an overtime system for managerial positions, so you won't get paid for overtime.
Okay. Well, to be honest, it's a bit weird for me to not be paid for overtime and extra work, but it's fine. We can arrange something. I can adapt.
Sure. What about instead of receiving extra money for your extra hour, you can balance the hours with having more holidays.
Sure. Sounds good to me. No problem.
Okay, great. Well, why don't you come on Monday and have a trial for this job?
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I will see you on
then.
Monday.
Okay.
See you.
Thank you for your
Bye-bye.
participation today. Okay.
Thank you for giving me a chance.
Bye bye.